Well, we're here in Oxford and we're about to go explore. If you're into architectural photography, Oxford is probably one of the coolest spots for it. Today, we went to Oxford to do a little bit of architectural photography because it is a nice area where it has a lot of different architecture and a lot of history, especially because of Oxford University, which is about 900 years old. One of the cool things about going into Oxford is that it's a basically short train ride away from London since we're here in London for the whole week. We wanted to go ahead and do just about a day trip instead of having to spend a whole day there because it was just relatively close by and there was going to be a lot that we could just go see during the daylight hours since, well, it's that wintertime area where everything gets dark kind of soon, so we didn't feel the need to be out there for that long. If you're into architectural photography and like a lot of like texture kind of buildings and history, this is a phenomenal place to be at. We got to explore quite a bit out there because we seen some shows that have, filmed there and stuff like that. So it's kind of nice to see the good locations that you've seen on, movies and TV and everything like that. For us, just going ahead and walking around the area just was really great to just simply go ahead and do. There's so much to see, so much to do that in reality, it feels like you could explore it all day and stay there for a while, but we just had to do what we had to do for the time being because we just also didn't want to exhaust ourselves since we have quite a bit planned for the rest of the week. One of the coolest things about Oxford is just basically the university campuses that they kind of have around the area that in reality have a lot of history and just rich textures and architecture when it comes down to its buildings. They have a really cool library in the middle of this one section near a very old church that they had in that area that I've seen in a movie actually and in shows as well, that it just was really cool to see in person because it's sometimes kind of weird to see something on TV and everything like that, and then you finally see the architecture of the buildings and everything that you saw on TV that it's kind of surreal to see and experience. One of the main things that I love about traveling and making content and just videos for YouTube and social media and everything is getting to see great history and rich places of architecture, and just anything could be something that just gets educational for that matter. You get to experience places like churches, like for example here when we were to Oxford, that has a lot of history. This church that we went into had a lot of history, and the weird part about it is kind of walking across where you can see essentially the graves that you were walking over, and it told you like the dates of people and everything like that. But the structure inside, just seeing the architecture of it and what you can take photos of there is very cool. You can get very creative if you want to go ahead and take photos or videos in the area, whether it's with portraits or if you want to go ahead and just do architectural photography like I wanted to do more. But I even saw this, I'm assuming it was a couple, this guy and girl just going ahead and doing some photos there, that it was kind of cool to see just people trying to get creative with the location while paying their respects in that area, because obviously everything's a lot older, so you don't want to be too crazy or too harsh on it. But getting to see a lot of the different structures and architecture kind of levels of things that surrounds Oxford is really cool. You get to just walk around everywhere, to be honest, where you don't really need to go on buses or anything of the public transit once you arrive, which was the nicest part about it. It really isn't that bad to take the train ride, like for example, from London to there, because it's about an hour-ish train ride, depending on which part of London you're at, because you have to get to the main station. But once you're there, just walking basically from the station all the way to the downtown area of Oxford is quite relatively easy, where you're going to have a lot of cool spots to take photos of, especially, like I said, if you're into that architectural photography kind of style of photography. I even went ahead and kind of change it up a bit. I did both kind of type of lenses. I used my 20-40 and my 35-150 because the 20-40 was a perfect lens to use when it comes down to using it for more of that establishing shot type of things, getting, the whole building itself, maybe kind of finding structures that make sense to keep the whole building whenever I'm trying to do even kind of type of street photography style. But the good thing is as well with the 35-150 is I can get those detail shots. Something that you'll find a lot of is details when it comes down to the architecture in Oxford. It's almost like you can't miss a shot when it comes down to the texture or anything to get a detailed shot when you zoom in. There's so many cool structures and just layers to every building that you can find something to take a photo of that will make sense. We walked a lot around it. I mean, we went kind of farther away from the downtown area to the more, relaxing area of the city where I'm assuming most people live. But the best part about being where obviously all the action is just being able to document those detailed shots, whether you want to do establishing type of shots, but also nice and up close and personal. And it was just great. If you're into that kind of photography, I would definitely recommend going to Oxford if you're in the UK visiting or anything like how we are. I've had a blast just going as a day trip because it is quite tiring to walk around and everything, but if you wanted to stay the night there, you're more than welcome to. It's just we really didn't want to go and do that since we wanted to come back to just stay in one home kind of base place just so that we didn't have to go too crazy. But taking those two lenses for the wider range from the 20 to the 150 was very useful when it came down to covering all our bases. I was able to take so many photos, so many videos while out there, and also getting to experience some nice, locations, sites, light, and everything, which we got lucky with having amazing sun and not so cloudy of a day, with getting good shadows and everything in play, that it just allowed us to take great photos and as well get to play with those harsh lightings because of the way the buildings would hit to make a little bit of, type of creative shots with because of those for the architecture kind of style, but as well with people around it. So it was really cool to experience Oxford, and I think it was just something very interesting to see more in person because you'll see it in shows or hear about it. But until you're there, it's something that I would be very inclined to tell people to really make the trip for it. That's one of the reasons why we decided to do it. And it was a lot of fun. So yeah, it was great to be able to go ahead and take those architect kind of type of shots because the history and buildings there are just something that just are very beautiful and very great. So thought I would share that, video idea and everything like that for you guys to experience it in case you're wanting to go and find spots. If you ever go to the UK, well, make Oxford your stop right there because you're going to find a lot of great texture, architecture, people, street photography, and everything. But for today's video, it was a little bit more of the architectural side of things because it just had a lot of it and it was really great. Everything just looked historical and great. You get to see everybody just kind of roaming around and living like they wouldn't be in somewhere so historic. But yeah, it was great to see people just enjoying themselves, and because pretty much was a normal day for them since I'm pretty sure they had school and everything like that around the area. But yeah, we got to capture quite a bit of things. So definitely if you're into that architectural photography, go check it out. And if you have any questions, leave me down below. We'd love to let you know our experience that we went because we went to see everything we can. What gear I would recommend more than everything. If you're having a 24-70, I think you'll be more than fine. But if you have any questions, leave them down below. We'd love to help you out. But with all that said and done, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to like and subscribe. Share this video with a friend. I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.